Okay, we're coming in from upstate New York. Um, the Worldview from an Outcast podcast with yours truly, Summer Austin. That's me. Now, if this is the new world order, how is it changed? Is it going to be reordered? Now that everything is a mix and chaos and the pre-established rules we have been living by with the United Nations, all the organizations, NATO, every continent, I assume, probably had organizations that would oversee or help with looking out for the whole of the continent or groups of continents together. So, now that there is strict rules that are being denied and overblown over, it's like, overkill. So now that there are no rules, basically. So now where do we start to begin to create the new order? What do we do to create order on Earth, in the world? So, okay, so the world in science books or on, if you Google search, it says started like what, 35 billion years ago or something like that. And it was a big bang or whatever, however you want to believe it started. It was always here. There's no before or after. It's always going to be. Or God created it, however you want to see it. And then how humans came to be is a mystery. And people think we evolved from apes or God just created us from his throne in heaven. So above the stars. Anyway, here we all are. No matter how it started or it happened, we're all here now. Us alive people on the earth or outside of the earth in space capsules. So, science points to that there used to be one continent called Pangea, which I think means all or all together or something. And then the plate tectonics, what was it, earthquakes and stuff separated it. And now we have oceans between us. So there are certain land masses that we call continents that were supposedly one continent at one time. So you can see it in the similarities of wildlife across the oceans and different continents. So how would there be the same type of wildlife in different continents if they weren't joined together at one time? That's another argument. So there are also different types of people. We're all human, but there are different classifications, different genders, different, skin tones, shades, and different genealogy, different languages that are construed to be part of integral in each continent. They each have their own culture. Although people have not transgressed, I mean, people have transported themselves, traversed the continents. So now there's a mix of everyone everywhere. Everyone has traveled, people travel. It's history. So no matter how much you try to stop it, people are going to travel also. So seeing as that it all started as that way, that it may be assumptions and hypotheses, but building on that, we have to build on something, right? So that is a common belief, what I am saying, with all of us. We can all relate to at least one part of what I said, I think, unless you have a totally different alternative viewpoint. And from there, so each continent is separated with an ocean, or there's isthmuses that join continents. So there will be South America, North America, and Central America is an isthmus. It joins the other two continents and has oceans on either side of it. And there's island countries. England is an island country. Japan is an island country. Australia is an island country. When you come to think of it, every continent is practically an island country because it is surrounded by water. That's what calls it a continent. It's a landmass surrounded by water. Unless the border is in the land, which is as in between Asia and Europe. Okay, and I personally believe that the Middle East should be called a continent of its own, and also that Palestine should be able to enter into the United Nations, which is probably obsolete by now, and also be called a country of its own, not overwoven with another country on top of it, which we won't mention. So now that we have geography, and we have us humans here on the earth, and everything is going haywire, how do we, I don't want to say inflict, how do we propose order? Or should there just be none? So, what are some ideas? How do we reorganize the organizations that countries are, as for example, the United States is dropping out of helpful organizations that were built to help other people. Donations, charities, organizations. These organizations, an organization that oversees feeding people who are hungry, combating hunger, homelessness, transportation, housing, and childcare, etc. And there are some good things to remember. We have a new mayor in New York City, and other mayors and women leaders around the world. That is progress of the leaders of the countries around the world. So there is progress being made, and one vile, foul action cannot reverse that. But at the same time, it has. So we have to figure out some way to work with and incorporate this new sense of state of mind of the leader. One starts, the others follow. What will happen next, right? So if I'm talking to any world leaders, China, Russia, Japan, I want to know, what are your ideas? I know you want to, you have your ideas. You want to protect your people. Everyone should want to protect the people of their country that they lead. So we're all separated by oceans. We are separated by oceans, and that puts some safety there. And also, you want to get along with the other countries. So there's borders, but do the borders have vague lines? Are they concrete? Are there passports that they're willing to accept to allow people, and then you can say, no, we don't want anyone in our country? Okay, but you can't say, do you own the land? Or is it just by brute force that you are, do you have reason or just brute force that you are implying that you're I am implying that you're implementing that. Thank you. And as far as space travel and all that, exports, imports, technology, AI, robots, clones, drones, and now we have synthetic intelligence, which is robots or machines that can think and progress without the intervention of humans. They just keep going. So is this getting carried away? Should we put a block? Should we put a stop? Is the computers going to rule the world and control us? These are all questions, and we're still wondering, are there aliens out there in outer space, other life on other planets, and are we going to inhabit Mars or the moon? Thank you for listening. Summer Austin Worldview from an Outcast podcast. Tune in for next episode next time. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. Have a nice night now.